Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As always, my name is Dave. Thanks for tuning in. We've got an amazing episode for you guys, and this one is number 2 in our series of helping our friend Danny pick out the ugliest house in town and fix that thing up. He's working with a tight budget, so his realtor has got him lined up with another house today. This one is actually just east of Fort Worth. He lives up in the northern suburbs of Dallas, works out there too, so this won't be that bad of a commute for him either. So we're gonna go check that one out. I actually am going to be a little late, so I'm going to catch up with them here in a minute. I had to run a couple of errands earlier this morning. Because of that, we might actually get there a little bit later. They might actually start touring the property before us, but we're going to catch up and we're going to check out what he's got going on. And just like last week's video, Sean can't be with us today. He'll be back in another video soon. If you guys like the video, feel free to hit subscribe, hit that bell notification, and then give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. But hey, we're actually a little late. So let me grab my jacket. It's another dreary day down here in Dallas, and let's get out of here. So I thought it'd be a great idea to jump into the navigator seat here and actually go along with you guys on this tour and explain what we found. As you'll notice right away, the house is across the street from an elementary school. And turning to look at the house, you'll notice that the garage door is original. We're missing some windows on the front, and the windows that are there are in pretty rough shape, as well as the siding. That stuff will probably need to get replaced if we were to purchase this house. We found a sign on the front window that noted it as a foreclosure sale. That's something I didn't know. Like I said, I got there a little later. Danny and his realtor were there, and they got the rundown prior to getting in the house. Walking into that main living space, we noticed right away some evidence of a rodent infestation and that the hardwood floors were original, albeit in rough shape, but nothing that can't be fixed. So we took a right look down the hallway there and made another left into the kitchen, and noticing it is in pretty rough shape right away. The mechanical closet, your heating system, and your hot water tank are actually in that kitchen. And to the left, we see our back door, which is in really rough shape. Its sill actually has a gap between the subfloor and the door sill. And it leads us to believe that there is a lot of water damage going on right along that edge there. Stepping outside, you'll note that the back side of the house is actually in really rough shape as well. Those windows, some of them are missing, some of them are in really bad shape, so that would all have to be replaced. There's a very obvious situation of deferred maintenance on this house. You have a lot of rot, as you can see right here, from about grade up to 4 feet above grade, maybe 3 feet, and that is due to splashback, water rolling off of the roof, hitting the ground, splashing back, and keeping that wood saturated, as well as a lack of maintenance over the years. And you can see here, obviously, no gutters and a definite lack of maintenance. More than likely, a new roof would have to be also applied to that house. On the inside here, that's the inside corner of the kitchen, you can see a lot of mildew, dirt, and mold. That corner being one of the worst, where the roof actually looks like it's missing and water getting in on the outside of the house. Looking back into the rest of the living room there, it's not in that bad a shape in there. Obvious we have a rodent issue, but the floors, they could be resurfaced. Some of that drywall in there, not too bad a shape, but that ceiling is a popcorn ceiling, so that would have to go, along with some of the funky bookshelves. So headed back down that hallway, we're going to check out these bedrooms now. Looking back into that kitchen one last time, we're going to zoom in right here and just, you could see that is a Washer dryer hookup on the right and left of that door. Interesting situation there. But first bedroom here, you can see the previous homeowners really didn't take good care of it. That carpet is super stained, probably 30-year-old carpet. You can see staining around all the vents, holes in the drywall. It's leading us to believe that there's a greater issue within that space. Head back down the hallway. To the left there, we see our bathroom. It's in bad shape, but not as bad as that one we saw last week. It was not falling in, but our flooring is pulling up, which makes me think that there is some water damage going on that's undermining the glues used to keep that flooring down.
What's the asking price?
96,000.
96,000.
Foreclosure, we're thinking maybe.
I saw the sign out front. I don't know what that was. Like no rental or sale information on the window.
Pretty dirty, pretty odd. You have probably cues to an elderly individual that live there with the accessibility grab bars. So then we're looking back into this back left bedroom. Window seems to be okay there, but I spot some mold staining on the bottom corner on the outside of the house, staining all over these walls. Drywall is in rough shape, but then we go ahead and look back up at the ceiling and we notice that there is some water damage there, and you can kind of see that's dried up, but that leads us to believe that the roof is damaged at that point. And then looking out the window, neighbor likes to park their motorcycle right next to your bedroom. I'm not a fan of that, especially if you got kids in there. Looking into this other bedroom, there's no window that needs to get replaced. Giant hole in the wall. Drywall's all smashed up. Texture is really weird in there. Again, popcorn ceilings. You get some staining on the walls, and it's just an interesting house. They're asking $190 for this, and that's the inside of the house. We're gonna step outside, take a look at the front. As you can see there, that was the left-hand side of the garage on the front of the house, just completely deteriorated. The exterior on the front, not as bad a shape as the back side of the house, but we're gonna definitely have to replace all the fascia, the soffit, the roof, and it's starting to become more of an undertaking than we want to achieve at that price point. As you can see here, not that bad a shape. Looks like it's just been weathered and not taken care of, but who knows what happens after you start pulling some boards off. Looking here, we definitely have a giant hole with that. Some of these pests are getting in. Rot going on where you see the wood meeting the brick. That scares me because underneath that is the structure of the house, and that could possibly cause issue with the studs and the framing, and we don't want to get into anything like that. All right, guys, so that was the tour of that cheap $90,000 house out in East Fort Worth. That house, we were not expecting to be as bad as it actually was. It's kind of an issue when you run into comps that are about 150, 160 for something that's been flipped, 150 for something that's move-in ready, and the house that they're asking for is $90,000. That gives you that $60,000 playroom where you're not making any money on the back end of that. If you're looking at it like an investment, like what Danny is trying to do. If you're looking to buy your forever home or something like that, but fix it up on the back end, that is something that is very doable because you'll come out and it'll be comparable. If you end up moving down the road, you're going to break even. But as an investor, it doesn't make sense to break even. You're trying to make money on the back end. And so $90,000 just isn't in the cards for this house. He'd have to get it something like $50,000, $40,000, because the amount of work that is needed to get that house livable is very, very high. You need all new windows and doors, new garage door, big chunks of the siding have to be replaced. And what worries me is where you have the splashback effect. There are no gutters on that house. So water's just coming off that roof, hitting the ground and splashing back at the house, especially about that 3-foot level from the ground up, and completely rotting that out. Worries me is the structure underneath that. has that been rotted out as well? Not to mention you have a lot of drywall issues within the house. You have popcorn ceiling, which is most likely asbestos. You probably have asbestos tile underneath some of the kitchen floors, bathroom floors, stuff like that would have to be remediated. So you're looking at almost a full gut, full rebuild from the inside out, and it's just not going to cut it at that price point. And so after our tour today, we stopped for lunch, we kind of ran our numbers, bounced everything off of each other, and it just didn't seem right for Danny to go for that house. But that's okay, because there's plenty of other stuff. His realtor has another house lined up for him, so we're going to take a look at that one. This one seems much, much more promising. We actually talked about it at lunch as well, and it seems like this one is going to be a little easier to take care of, much more cosmetic. Hopefully, we'll catch you guys in the next video. If you do enjoy this video, please give us that thumbs up. Lets us know you guys liked it. And hit subscribe and that bell notification. We'll see you guys later. And remember, keep building.